I'm back. Hello everyone and welcome back to another racing preview. It's been a couple of weeks since I last did one of these. I went on a holiday to Queensland, just living it up in the sun for a little bit. But we're back now and we're ready to get into this meeting at Caulfield. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think there's a couple of good plays of the day, so let's get straight on with it. Race 1 is a 2-year-old handicap over the 1200 metres. And we're having a look at the last start replay of a horse called Spinning. This is currently the second favourite in the race at $2.60, can you believe it? Now this was a fantastic run on debut for my liking. Gimme Part in the black colours is the horse that wins the race. And it's meant to be really good. It ran a length off Ingratiating in the summer. So it's got some good form lines. This horse nearly beat it, Spinning, and it gapped the rest. So I think this is the right form line. Spinning should take improvement out of this. Dan Stackhouse sticks with it, and I think it's a great way to start the day. I'm having 20 units to win on it. By the way, I'm resetting the units. We're back down to 0, just because I want to do another one. So Spinning on top, ahead of LAFARGUE, who's having its debut run for Danny O'Brien's team, so he's a good go. Generation gets Jamie Carr the first time, goes forward, will give itself every chance, and Blushing Tycoon at a big price. But mainly Spinning, I think it'll win. Race 2 is a benchmark 84 over the 2000 metres. And we're taking a look at a last start replay of Smokin' Pierre and EXCELMAN. More worried about EXCELMAN out of this run. Had to make up a lot of ground. Came really wide on the turn and still managed to finish where it finished, which was second. It'll relish the 2,000 metres on the weekend. Gets gate 3, settle closer. Gets Jamie Carr the first time. It just looks ideally placed against this field. Did you know that EXCELMAN has the least amount of winning strike rate in this race, and it's $2? That is freaky, but it's true, so I have to go with it. It's a bit too short for me to put in my strategy, but I still think it'll win. Barry the Baptist just doesn't win, but it always runs second or third, thereabouts, so I've got it in there. Paul and Jimmy's the country horse. Madison Lloyd gets the claim, so it should be going well, and SKELM is a pretty good horse, and Dean Yendall over the distances can run well, but EXCELMAN is on top for me at $2. Race 3 is a mare's benchmark 84 over the 1600 metres. This race is wide open, so I've had to go to Sydney to find a recent replay for SAVIGNE. Now, this was in a filly, it's a mare's benchmark 88. So this was 88, drops back down to 84. It was $41 on this occasion, SAVIGNE, so we weren't expecting too much. Still managed to finish as close as 3.5 lengths. So I think maybe just the drop in grade, Damien Thornton going on for Chris Waller usually is a huge plus. It just needs to find a position from gate 9, but if it can do that, I think it's a pretty good horse. And first up record's not good, second up is good, so I'm confident in it at $8. But it's a wide open race. I had Ruby Sky on top originally, but then I just realised it doesn't win, but should be running well. Mr. Meters first up, and Intellective I was happy to take on, never been on the backup. So I'm happy to take that on, but hopefully SAVIGNE can run a pretty good race. Race 4 is a benchmark 78 over the 1200 metres. This was the trickiest race on the day. Yulong Storm's 30-1, but Platini's the one I want to take out of this race. Finished a length off the eventual winner, which was open-minded. Never really suited the back markers. The front runners got it their own way, so I'm happy with how Platini finished off. On the weekend, it's got gate 5, so I can settle a bit closer. I don't think it'll be front runners biased like this day, but it's a wide open race, and Platini at $6.50 just really caught my eye, which is why I've got it on top. Pintoff has got Jamie Carr on again, and it's won 3 from 6, and it should be running well. Olberg at $6 just doesn't win. 1 win from 22 starts. Happy to take it on. And Chilio Doro, I think can run a really good race, but it will have to come from the back and run over all of them. But Platini won its first 2 starts of the preparation. Hopefully it can win this one as well. Race 5 is an open handicap over the 1600 metres. And we're taking a look at a last start replay of All Too HUIYING and HOLBIEN. HOLBIEN's the odds-on favourite, and I'm really happy to tip it on top this weekend. It's on the verge of winning one. This was its first go at 1700 metres, and it nearly won. It was a query at the distance, so the step back to 1600 metres looks ideal. Laura Lafferty claims 3 kilos, so it gets in with 52.5. Everything just sets up perfectly for it this race. If it doesn't win this race, it will never win a race ever again. So Holbein tipped on top, just too short to have any units on it. Mr. Exclusive always runs well, so it has to go in there. All Too HUIYING was in that race, finished off okay, and Legionnaire always seems to be around the mark, so I have to put it in my top 4. But Holbein's just a class runner in the race. Laura Lafferty can hopefully get another city winner with this horse. Race 6 is an open handicap over the 1100 metres. And this is a recent replay of Streetcar Stranger. Now, this was a really good replay to watch if you're on Streetcar Stranger. In the end, though, this was only a benchmark 78, but the way it won, and David Jolly has the courage to bring it over to Victoria. Look at it, still held up. Would you imagine that it actually won by 0.8 lengths from this position? Because it did. It'll relish 1100 metres. Might not be the classiest runner in the race, but I think is the fittest runner and should give them something to chase. So Streetcar Stranger on top, ahead of BLAZEJOWSKI, who's the class runner, but it's only had the one jump out heading into this run, and gate 8 doesn't suit it, so I've tipped it for second, but 15 units to win on both of them. Titan Blinders first up should run a good race. I'm someone the outside of the field, I'm giving you a bit of a chance too, but Streetcar Stranger and BLAZEJOWSKI for the win. Race 7 is a 3-year-old handicap over the 2000 metres. And this is a last start replay of Horrifying and Redwood Shadow. At least these are the two favourites, and they both ran really well. Horrifying finished in front of Redwood Shadow, but Redwood Shadow had to make up more ground. I like these two a lot. Even my Squeeze Louise was pretty good on speed. They're both drawn to get good runs, but Redwood Shadow gets the blinkers on for the first time, and I think that's beneficial. I think Den Yendel going on is a big plus as well. And just with the price, I'm putting Redwood Shadow on top, but I think they're both very good chances. Redwood Shadow on top of Horrifying, blinkers first time. REUBER gets a good run from gate 4. Craig knew it. Could steer it to a victory if it's good enough. And my Squeeze Louise will appreciate 2000 metres. It's just got a bit of a wide gate. But Redwood Shadow, 15 units to win. I'm pretty confident in this horse, and I think it can get the job done. Race 8 is a 3-year-old handicap over the 1600 metres. Now, I really don't like this race at all, but Succeed Indeed is the one that I've put on top. It was $26 this day, 2 weeks ago. Got beaten by Brook Spire and American Angel, who then went on to run in the Group 1 Australasian Oaks. Succeed Indeed, it was actually a pretty good run. Ran second, showed signs it was back to its best. And if it is back to its best, it should comfortably be winning this race. Agreeable's the current favourite, but it won't run at Caulfield. It'll get scratched, so I'm not sure. Mozzie Monster will probably start favourite. But Succeed Indeed, if it gets off the rails, because it's drawn gate 1, I think it's a pretty good chance. Agreeable gets scratched, so don't worry about it. HENGROEN, people were comparing it to Russian and Camelot. Look, if it wins, then I'm going to be really keen to follow it, but we have to see it first. Irish Impact's actually a pretty good horse. Gate 4 will get a good run, but Succeed Indeed is going to be the winner for me. Race 9 is a 3-year-old handicap over the 1200 metres. I'm really excited to see this horse again, AYRTON. This was only its second race start, and it was its last start. This was on Boxing Day at Caulfield. This horse was $1.60 on the weekend, and I'm pretty sure it was $1.60 when it won this as well. Won with authority. Jaws Gate 9 on the weekend. Jamie Carr, I think it'll have the speed to come across. Beltoro it beat here, which ran pretty good in the Group 1 Australian Guineas, I believe, from memory, behind Luna Fox. AYRTON's a class above. It's being aimed at the Queensland Carnival. It should be winning this race. 35 units to win on it, just to make a profit if we haven't made a profit for the other horses. Curran won really well last start and gets in with 53.5 kilos, so it can't be ruled off. The Big Easy's been running well, just hasn't been winning, and Marlin's Dream has won 2 on the bounce, so it has to be considered. But Ayrton, I'm really excited to see this horse, and I'm really excited for the meeting at Caulfield.